Hi everyone, I hope you are having a good day. In today's sharing, we are continuing on my previous video about my experience going through Yayasan Khazanah 5-stage assessment process. However, for today's video, here are 9 things that I've done that I think have helped me a lot to ease my scholarship application. My first tip of the day is to work on your resume at least 1 year in advance before you are applying for Yayasan Khazanah scholarship. Whenever someone achieves something big in life, there is usually a 4 to 5 years of hard work behind the scenes that we don't see. This also applies the same for successful scholarship application. To qualify as a YK scholarship recipient, I think it's a good strategy for you to start building a strong resume that gives you an edge over the 1,000 other applicants. One of the best strategies is to get involved in volunteer work, track your contribution at your workplace, and also document any leadership roles or achievement that you have done over your undergrad or high school or even in your workplace. And also in my previous video, I have also mentioned about the 3 P's criteria that Yayasan Khazanah are looking for, like the purpose, personal traits, and also people traits. So 1 year before you're applying, you can focus on your personal development, like improving your skills, knowledge, and also capabilities in the field that you are studying in. And second thing is also your career growth. So it's a good move to actually start gaining relevant experience and also certifications, anything that can help you and show that you are working on developing yourself in the field that you are studying in. And the third thing is community involvement, like volunteer work or leadership roles. You can start to think about volunteer program or initiative that you can contribute to. Something simple or specific to the field that you are studying is fine. At least it showcases your effort to actually contribute to the community around you. For example, 1 year after I graduated, I was given the opportunity to give some sharing or talks to my previous university and some other universities in Malaysia regarding my final year project or the tips or tricks for final year students on how they can ace their final year project. So all of the invitation letter for those kind of program that I attended, I keep the file safe in my hard drive so I can show them and use them during my application process. In terms of career growth, for example, since I've been working for 1 year previously, I noticed that there is a demand in students who know how to use beam progress, for example. So in 2023, I applied to become a certified beam modeler, and in 2024, I applied again to become a certified beam coordinator. So those high skill and with the correct justification that I've mentioned in my application essay and during my interview, showcase my strategy and my long-term goal to actually keep on developing myself in the field that I'm studying, which is architecture. And it's also shown during the interview that I have a passion to keep up with the demand of the industry and how I can use my high skill certification to contribute back to Malaysia in the future. So I would say if you are still in the university and planning to apply for the same scholarship as me in the next few years, you can actually start preparing and building your resume from this day. So when it's time for you to actually apply, you will have an easier time and abundance of things that you can show for Yayasan Khazanah on what you are passionate about and what you are interested in pursuing in the future. So the second thing is to think deeply about your long-term goals. So your long-term goals or what you want to do after you graduated will come up repeatedly during your interview session. So it is extremely crucial for you to reflect on them beforehand before you go to those interviews. You can start to ask yourself about what are the impact that I want to make in my field. So what are the problems that I want to solve, and also how do I want to contribute in my industry or my community. The things that you want to solve or you want to introduce or propose doesn't have to solve the whole world problem. It can be a small thing, something that you see like a problem in your day-to-day work, something that you think can be improved. For those who have just graduated or still young in the industry, how do you find what you want to contribute on in your industry? That's a great question. A good way to find ideas is by observing your day-to-day life, like what actually intrigues you, what usually brings you problem while you are doing your job in your industry, or is there a certain thing that you constantly question, like why is a system set up that way, or is there something in your field that you are disagreeing with or you think can be improved further. Thirdly would be choose the right university early on. So as you all know, not all university international are covered by YK scholarship. So there are 3 countries that is selected, which is the UK, the US, and also Australia. So before you apply to any university, you should first check whether those chosen university is ranked among the top 20 in your field or not, because usually those are the rough indicator. Or to be more precise, you can check their website beforehand before you make all of the effort applying for the university. Why is this important? It's because getting a offer letter early ensure that you have all of the necessary documents when you are applying for the scholarship itself. During the application season, you can still list down which university that you are waiting for an offer letter or you are planning to apply to. But if you have already received an offer letter, it can definitely save you a lot of headache waiting for an offer letter while preparing for each interview. Depending on which country and which university you are applying for, there's usually a different intake time for different countries. For example, in the UK, there's only one intake each year, and usually during August or September every year. And usually their intake application opens on October to January of that year. For a country like Australia, depending on the university, there are usually two intakes each year. First one is in February and March, and the second one is in July or August semester. Okay, the reason why I emphasize on applying for international university early before the scholarship application open is because to apply for international universities, there's a lot of documents or things that you need to provide. For example, taking the IELTS exam, providing suitable recommendation letter, and also other documents. So you should ensure that you have enough time to work on your university application before the scholarship application opens. The fourth tip is to improve on your corporate and your professional skills. So I understand that after graduating, sometimes we want to quickly pursue our masters so we can settle all of our education early on. But having at least 1 or 2 years of working experience will help you a lot. It's definitely beneficial for you to get through the assessment. You will gain a valuable experience working with diverse stakeholders, diverse clients, consultants, and navigating a professional environment. And also, as YK's postgraduate scholarship is also looking for future leaders who can contribute to the YK network, right? So working experience can also strengthen your application for you to apply for jobs after you have studied. And I also think that real life working experience helps with the assessment process, especially during the stage 3 E-Tray and CBI interview. So having real life experience solving problem at the workforce or in terms of handling project will definitely make your experience answering interview question easier for you. And during your 1 to 2 years working experience, I think it's a good idea for you to take note on how you can improve your interaction with your clients, especially during meetings, during discussion, or during email correspondence. Even if it feels awkward at first, that is normal, but you'll get used to it if you start practicing sooner. The fifth tips is to always say thank you after each interview opportunities that you get, no matter if it went well or if you think it went badly. Never forget to say thank you after each interview. Since there are going to be 3 stages of interview throughout the YK assessment process, so before and after each interview, I will always make a point to thank them through email. So what are the things that I've mentioned in my email? For example, I thank the YK management for their time and their opportunity for allowing me to get through this interview. In the email, I also mentioned how I will be preparing for the interview. For example, arriving early, preparing all of my documents, or maybe for the CBI interview, what are the practice that I have done to prepare for the interview itself. And lastly, after each interview, I would also email them back expressing how thankful I am for the opportunity and also mentioning what I've learned from the experience of the interview. Those little efforts can make you stand out from other applicants and also showing how engaged you are throughout the application process. The next tips that I have is to have an ATS-friendly resume. So given the high volume of application, especially during stage 1, I think Yayasan Khazanah are using AI or at least an automated system to scan through all of the resume and all of your application. Okay, one thing that you can do to test your resume's readability is to try using job application platforms like LinkedIn, Seek, or Indeed. So for this job searching platform, usually at the beginning of your application, they will ask you to upload a PDF file of your resume and they try to read your resume and transfer those information into the designated box. So if you check and compare, if they can pass your resume correctly and transfer the information that you put significantly well, so there's a high chance that YK system can also do the same. My next tip is to get comfortable applying for anything to overcome the fear of rejection. So just a bit of backstory. A year before I was applying for the scholarship, I have also applied for 13 to 14 universities internationally. So each application will require for me to customize my essays depending on each university's strength, why do I want to study there. And I also went through 2 rounds of job application process by writing the cover letters and sending out of all of my application, customizing each email on why I want to work there. Basically, I've written more than 15 different type of essay before I've applied to Yayasan Khazanah. So by the time I'm writing for Yayasan Khazanah essay, I didn't actually feel the pressure to make the essay perfect because I've been through rounds and rounds of application process and iteration to the point that I am comfortable whether I am accepted or rejected. I think the fear of rejection, of the fear of failure is one thing that stops people from applying for Yayasan Khazanah scholarship because they feel that they are unqualified among other candidates. But the first step for you to be successful is to try applying first, and then we'll see how it goes from there. If there are room for you, there are definitely opportunities for you to move forward for this scholarship. By applying to a lot of things, although it seemed unproductive at first, it also helped me to gain confidence to get through interview stage. So getting through Yayasan Khazanah interview, I don't feel as nervous as when I first interview for maybe my university application or my job application. So practice always makes perfect, and if you want to get rid of that fear of rejection, try applying for a lot of things so you get used to the sense of nervousness or uncertainties. The next tip is to register with a professional email address that you often check throughout the application process, and also after you have received the scholarship. You will receive a lot of important updates throughout the assessment process about the details, the deadline, the interview time on the interview location. So make sure you are using an email address that sounds professional and also easily accessible to you that you can often check. If you have been working for a long time, I think this is not a weird thing, but maybe if you have just graduated, it's a good practice to start now. And lastly is to always organize your inbox with email tag. So managing your inbox efficiently can definitely save you a lot of time in terms of managing emails. So there will be a lot of updates and back and forth between you and Yayasan Khazanah, especially if you have problem attending interviews or you want to save important updates from the Yayasan Khazanah stage. Up until now, I still save a lot of the emails that Yayasan Khazanah have sent to me and all of the important letters through emails, and I can always look back on all of this important information easily since I've organized them beforehand. There you have it, all of the extra 9 actionable tips that you can do to prepare for Yayasan Khazanah scholarship application. These are some of the points that I didn't get to talk about during my previous video, and I hope that all of these are valuable for you to help you for your application. So start early, stay organized, and also believe in yourself. I hope this helps, and good luck on your journey.